Welcome back to the renewed homestead, everybody. I'm Ben, and this is part 2 of One Bad Day. Viewer discretion is advised, and in all seriousness, this is a video about processing our sheep, and some of the images might be disturbing to some, younger or older alike, but we just wanted to give you a heads up that that's what this video is about, and if you choose not to watch, we totally understand, but this is what we do on our homestead. So, here we go. Hey all, I need to share something with you right quick. Loki and I were walking up by the food forest, and we saw something up here that seemed a little strange. All the sheep were lined up along the fence line over here, and so I stopped, and Loki looked up there, and his hair stood up. He went bolting up here, and I'm thinking, this isn't good. I haven't got any kind of shall we say, protection other than a stick if there was something up here either trying to get into the sheep or if it turned around and attacked Loki. So I bolted up, Loki bolted up, and we came up here. We got up here with the sheep, and by the time we got up here, they had started wandering back across. But we got up to the road right there, and something darted around the bend, something white. And it certainly was not one of our guineas or chickens. And I don't know what predators we've got out here that are white. So out of breath, but we kept running. I kept checking Loki, making sure he stayed right with me. We got up there, got around that bend, and just as we got around the bend, out ran a cat. Took off up the hill. Loki and I were kind of like, okay, he stopped and he looked at me, and I don't know, and that cat was gone up the hill. But anyway, that's just how things happen around here. You can think you're prepared for things, and you just never know what you're going to wind up being in the middle of. So just thought I'd share that with you.
It was a difficult day, and I guess kind of because you were there Friday, and I can kind of explain when I got here what I was feeling. But what were some of the things that you were going through on Friday when Billy and William got here? And
well, I was definitely anxious about the actual moment that it happened, but once it did, and as I said, it was quick and seemed very painless. Didn't know anything, and from there it was just and now we go into action. Now you've got now the clock's starting because you have to. I don't want to get graphic about it, but basically you need to make sure the blood's out of it, and the entrails will start heating up and contain the meat. So you have to get, you have to get, things moving, and so we got the carcass now in the back of the truck, drove it down to the shop, and started breaking things down. But I think I do better when I've got a kind of a, I don't want to say, it's not a goal, but I knew what had to happen. So, we went up there, turned off the fence, jumped in.
Quiet.
Yes, Loki. Jumped in, separated the sheep, got the one that we were taking out at that moment, isolated, and dispatched them, and just kind of went on, kind of almost went into a automatic.
Yeah. Just got to be done, and.
Yeah, got to be done, and to try. And again, before we did it, we prayed, and everything we did was very respectful, but I tried not to kind of think about what just happened as we went through the rest of it. I think I probably processed a little more in the evening once it was done, and had time to settle down and prepare for the next day and doing all that. So
yeah. But. And I got back. I was at an appointment, and I got back, and I have to admit, I was actually crying in the car on the way home, and I still get a little teary-eyed because it is a very difficult thing to do. But and I got here, and I was grateful, really grateful that Ben and William and Billy had gone through and dispatched the lamb, and we did 3. So there was a mother and a daughter, and we knew pretty early on that they were going to have to be culled. And like I said, I know that sounds horrible, but they are like, we couldn't even get close to them. They were so skittish and so scared of everybody, and they would get every other sheep. And I don't know if y'all know much about sheep, but if you have one sheep that panics, right, they all panic.
Yeah.
And so we would go in and try to move them or feed them, give them treats, whatever it is, right, even their minerals. And the mother and daughter were so panicked, and they would get everybody else panicked. And so we knew, like, we don't want to breed that. We don't want
those traits staying in our flock.
Exactly. And so we knew that they were going to have to go. Now, the baby, Tilly's baby lambykins that was born in April. April, I think it was April. Yep. I think end of April, beginning of May. So he was about the right age. So we knew we have a ram, and he's a proven ram. And because Tilly... he was not Ramsey's, but he was Tilly's. Ramsey's the rams we have. Now, she had gotten pregnant by another ram.
Right.
But because, Tilly's his mom, we can't have that ram in the flock. And unfortunately, all the babies that have been born on the homestead, as far as the sheep go, have all been rams.
Yep.
So we know that we couldn't keep him. And so we knew that he was either going to have to be sold, or we were going to have to process him, and it made sense to process early on. But the mother and daughter, we knew pretty early on that they were going to have to go.
Right.
The ram was a little harder, just because, as you raise them from a baby, you see them grow.
Sure.
Ben was, you can go back and see the video, like, he tried to bring the stillbirth baby back to life. And I mean, there was just so much that went into that. So that was really difficult. So I was grateful that y'all did that, and I didn't have to be here. And I felt kind of bad at the same time, because I knew you were taking that on. But I was grateful for it. The mother and daughter were not as difficult for me. It was still hard, but they were not nearly as difficult as lambykins.
It was definitely not easy, but
yeah. And I know Ricky I know you're not supposed to name your animals. Yeah. I know.
But already I can tell you the sheep that are up there now are so much calmer without those 2 skittish ones in there. And
so much calmer.
And Greg Judy is a good one to watch if you're really interested in in-depth analysis, if you will, of culling a herd and traits and bloodlines and all those things. I definitely recommend looking at Greg Judy.
And we're hoping to take we're hoping enough will be done here that we will be able to actually go take his grazing school this spring.
Yeah.
So it's not cheap, but I think it'll be well worth the education. So,
definitely.
But yeah, so we had, so I had a difficult time with it. I can say though that once you go, you dispatch the animal, and we're not going to show that. That is, nope. I don't feel like that is appropriate to show.
It's not appropriate to show, and that's not what this video is about anyway.
Exactly. But then, once the hide's off, right? Mm-hmm. It becomes carcass, and then it becomes like, now you're in a mode, okay, this is meat, right? So it's kind of interesting, your emotions, because you go from dispatching the animal, which is all this emotion, right? All this, this is very difficult to do because you've raised this animal, even the skittish ones, we raised them, we took care of them. Yep. And then you go from, once the hide's off, right? Now it goes to carcass, and now you have, okay, now it's mode. We have to get, the meat in our freezer and get it processed. But it's interesting, the emotions you go through from dispatch to carcass.
Yeah.
Okay, on the anatomy here, we got shanks and hocks. They're same thing, same word. Up here, we have what's the loin. These are your money cuts. No matter the animal, these are your money cuts, okay? Mm. This is the ham. This is your sirloin. Wherever, no matter the animal, where you see that little hook, you need to be thinking sirloin in here. So the first thing we're going to do is break it down into its primals. This is not going to be taught by any other person that's doing this. For a sheep, they would normally leave this thing whole, and then they would cut it at the ribs, and they leave it rounded. When I teach anything, you will always, no matter the animal, cut it down the sagittal plane, cut it down the middle. Makes it easier to teach, and it makes it translatable no matter the animal. So we're going to start with the hardest thing on here. And when we're done, you're going to think, okay, that wasn't the hardest, but it kind of is. Those are your shanks. When it's a pig or any other animal, here's why you want to leave this thing intact, because you can use the weight of the animal to help you maintain, to help you get this off. So what we're going to do, we got one in the back, one in the front. We'll start with the easy one first, and then you guys can follow. See this fat line? You can even see it on your own. Okay? The back is very different. All of it's held right here by the kneecap, no matter the animal. The front that's the most difficult one on this, and I'm telling you right now, you're gonna struggle with it, but it's okay. The way it fits is that the bottom is shaped like this bone right here, the shank. It fits into a socket like this, and that's how it moves. So you're gonna have to get it down in there. I'm gonna show you a couple of tricks to help get that off. First things first, we're gonna take off, this is what do we call this?
The ham.
The ham. And then from here down,
Shank.
shank. Okay. This is a ham, this is your picnic ham, although very small on this animal. So you got two cuts. You got a chef's.
What do you mean picnic ham? Sorry.
Picnic ham is the part at the front,
Okay.
and the regular ham is the one at the back.
Okay.
So, see that fat line? It's not always going to be perfect, but that's your demarcation point. I'm going to use a butcher's cut. You have a chef's cut. You're going to hold it like so. This is a butcher's cut. This is the only time when you're a butcher where it's okay to hold a knife like this. All I'm going to do is basically follow that fat line. I'm going to come all the way over and do it like so. I'm going to do it, and then you guys can follow. I'm going to lay this down. This is why you want the animal intact if you can. Kind of exploit that. Actually, it could have been higher, but on every animal, yeah, it should have been up here. There we go. It's okay. Your shank, a lot of times, is going to be used so I can use the animal. See that?
Yep.
So I exploit it, and then I can use my 6-inch butcher's cut once again, and then you can see where that bone is, and then get it off in one piece. There's your shank. Now, what do we do with this? Anybody have an idea? Two ways. If this were a cow, what would you call it? Does anybody know? I guarantee you've heard it. It's called ossobuco.
Yeah, and how it is weird how psychologically, going from, a living animal to meat on a table that you're cutting up, because once it was on the table, it was no different than making meatballs, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Just there's definitely an art form to butchery,
Oh,
though.
boy, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
Billy is an artist for sure.
He is, and again,
William too. I mean, William.
Oh, yeah.
They're artists. Yeah.
Yeah, but and again, we'll link that video because that's a great one for breaking down a carcass. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, but it is not easy, and it's something that if you're going to do this lifestyle,
it's part of it.
It's part of it. It absolutely is. But there, and I said I alluded a little bit to this in Billy's video. There is something gratifying, right, about going to your freezer knowing that you have provided this for your family. And this food is so much better than what you're going to get in the store. It tastes better. It's been raised better. It doesn't have the chemicals. It doesn't have the additives. You don't have to worry about weird antibiotics or, And so we can go to the freezer and say, you know what, we did this for our family. And there's something really gratifying about that, really rewarding about that.
Yeah.
But, we wanted to kind of a lot of homestead channels have gone over the butchery side of it, right? Like they've shown you some of it.
Yep.
They've gone over it, and we wanted to kind of approach this a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Kind of talk about our experience with it, the mental preparation, the difficulties of it, why we did it, and we've got meat in the freezer now.
Yep.
That's going to feed us, and if something does happen to the economy, or if something does happen, we have food for our families too to come here, our kids and our parents and brothers,
Right.
sisters.
We're not preparing for full out nuclear war, but what if I lost my job? What if the dollar collapses? There's a lot of what ifs. So we're just preparing for the small things as well as the large things. Like I said, we got meat in the freezer, and we've got some stuff jarred up, not near as much as what we wanted to.
Without
just
the kitchen, it's difficult.
we did the best we could. We used the grill. Billy says it, but there's no problems. There's only solutions waiting to be found.
Yeah.
I know that's not Billy's, but I hear it from him, so I'll give him credit for today.
Yeah, but it's just so to wrap up, it is extremely difficult to process an animal that you have raised. Going over to Billy's, processing the chickens were not easy by any means, but they weren't our chickens, right? So it's not easy, but it's a little easier than when you have fed that animal, you've cared for that animal, you've, helped that, all these different things, right? So it's very difficult to process but we do it because the meat is better. It is healthier. We believe it is a gift from God. We are thankful every day that we are able to live this lifestyle. As we've said before, it's hard work. And what do you always say about the calluses in your hand?
If you're not ready to get calluses, this is not the lifestyle for you.
Yes. So it's like I was talking to my mom earlier today, and we were talking about just outfits that you wear. It's like in Arizona, flip flops and sundresses were pretty popular for me, and now I'm like comfortable pants and muck boots are pretty much what we live in.
Yep.
But it's difficult, but we believe it is a better way to raise the animals because they have one bad day.
Yep.
And they don't have every day of their life as a bad day.
Yep. We know they had a good life, and that's the goal. Is they had a good life. We're helping them have a good life. They're helping us have a good life. And I know there's some people out there going, well, how could you? How could you? I can't believe you did that. Well, you know what? If you're eating a burger, you did the same thing. You just weren't present when it happened.
Well, and what kind of life did that animal have?
Right. Well, but
You have
just
no
even without
idea.
going there, I mean, we're saying I know there's got to be people out there going, well, how could you end an animal's life? Well, you're doing the same thing. You're just not present. You're just not part of that process, and that's the difficult part, is being part of that process. That was not easy. I mean, like I said, I was a city boy. The only thing I've ever put down are my dogs, and they're injected with a serum that helps them go to sleep, and then it's over. This was completely different, and I knew it would be, and I just didn't realize how difficult it would be. But now I am part of the whole thing, the whole process.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's really important for us to get back to
Yeah.
that connection with our food. And so if you are not in a position to raise your animals, find a farmer near you that practices organic practices. Like, there's a lot of farmers that can't afford to get that organic label, right, or that grass-fed label because through the federal government it's very expensive. But
And a lot of hoops to go through.
Exactly.
And oversight.
And oversight, yes. But go, there are a lot of small ranches and farmers near you. If you have a farmer that won't show you around their place, then don't go there. But most of these people will show you around their operation. They will show you how they're growing, what they're feeding, what their minerals are like. They will take you through and show you. Buy from a local farmer, buy from a local rancher that's doing this rotational grazing, that's doing grass-fed. Buy from them, because that you're supporting them, you're supporting your community, but then you're also doing better for the animal, and now you're not disconnected, right? You have a face to that animal, you have a face to that farmer or that rancher, and I think that's really critical. And I really would love to see us go back to, for those that can't homestead or don't want to go back to that small community farming mentality where we are supporting those farmers in the community, because you don't realize when you buy meat from the store, that farmer gets very little. Most of these farmers are going bankrupt. The suicide rates for farmers are skyrocketing. They're through the roof because of how difficult it is, because they don't get enough money. The federal government has all these regulations. You've got big agriculture like Monsanto that's giving them seeds, and then to move away from Monsanto is very difficult. I mean, Monsanto has sued farmers for saying that they stole their seed when a seed ended up from another farm into their farm. And
probably shouldn't go too far down this
rabbit hole. But I'm just saying, but there's a lot of reasons why I would say support a local farmer, support a local rancher. Let's get back to that community farming, that community ranching. And I would say let's try to move away from some of these other practices where we're so disconnected.
Yeah, well, and kind of along that line, if there is a local farmer or somebody, you might even be able to barter some labor for some meat or some veggies or whatever it might be.
There's always work to do.
There's, always work to do. So they might be willing to barter a little. Plus, it gives you a taste of this lifestyle too. And if you're thinking about it, and you have that opportunity, go spend a Saturday or every other Saturday for a couple of months and see if this is really something you want to jump into. We didn't really have that luxury. I mean, we jumped in 2,000-mile jump in at full both feet. So I don't regret anything other than being away from our kids. That's, as we've said over and over again. But there's always work to be done, and
And that's a good point. Billy learned to butcher because he went to one of the best, I think the best butcher shop in Kansas City,
Yeah.
and said, "I'll work for free. Just
Yeah.
teach me how to do
I'll
it."
sweep the floors if you'll teach me. And he did.
he did,
And,
yeah.
and he learned quite the skills. He is impressive.
Okay, the shanks. But I kind of set y'all up for failure. Because there's no wrong way. Jason kind of said it over there. There's no wrong way of doing this. You're gonna make mistakes, but if it weighs, it pays. We turn this whole thing into grind, you still made 10 times your money, even without doing cuts. Okay, hard part.
Pays, it pays.
Here you go. Hard part. This is where I told you it fits in. It's gonna fit in just like this.
Yep.
Front shank is what gives everybody fits. So you're just gonna have to play with it. If you want, just make a cross when you first learn it, and you're gonna constantly move this thing back and forth. You can see even the shadow of the bone. So if you want, see how I made that horizontal cut?
Yeah.
I know there's a bone right there. So I'm gonna show you the easiest way of going about this.
That scared me. Sorry.
Since I know the anatomy of this animal, I could cheat and do it, but I'm showing you the easiest way of going about this. Exploit, go down till you get that bone. And remember, I said it's like a socket, right? Okay, my knife's in there.
Yeah.
I know that now that I'm in there, I can go to the outside.
Okay.
And remember, I told you it fits just like this. Kind of keep that image in your head. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom side. Small cuts, small mistakes, right? And all I'm going to do is exploit where that socket is. I know that I'm on the top side of it,
Yeah.
okay? Now, see that space in there? That's what I'm looking for.
That's the socket.
That's the socket. So I can go in there, I can take my knife. I'm just gonna do it the slow way, y'all. I'm not here to show off and do anything like that. I'm here to,
A little bit.
not a little bit, but hopefully. Okay, so I'm down in there.
Okay.
I got it exposed.
Yeah.
Now, put my knife down, expose it.
Working out.
This end you're gonna find goes, I can sit here and play with it. See that?
So you cut through the side, and then you keep kind of cutting at it a little bit until you're able to
That's right.
push it down. Okay.
So no matter how many times it takes, okay, I'm mostly there, but I know because I've done this thousands of times probably at this point, I already know the anatomy of this animal, so I know that I can come on the top side and just go nice and easy. All these little tendons in there. If you have to, go back and do it again. But this is the hardest part. Is yours gonna look that good?
No.
No, but that's not what we're about. Remember how I told you it fits in there, right?
Challenge accepted.
Just like
That's
that.
right.
So, okay, let's go ahead and do that. I'll kind of coach you where you need it.
But again, like Denise said, you support the local community, and you also know what's going into you is better for you too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in our food these days that if you really start reading and looking into it, like she does,
Yeah,
it might actually scare you.
I was actually shocked at how many people are like, "Are you selling your land?"
Oh, I know. As soon as it got
No.
out there that we were doing this, well, are you going to be selling any? It's like,
No.
maybe someday, but not at this point. But
Yeah.
But-
But another barter opportunity, right?
right. Well, and we were just saying about volunteering. The people we had in here, we sent them home with meat.
Absolutely.
That's they helped, and we wanted them to share in the rewards of that work. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, if you let us know, let us know your thoughts, let us know your comments on this. We understand this is not for everybody.
Nope.
But let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you've had any processing, if you want to homestead, if you are homesteading, kind of where you're at with it. I'd love to also know where y'all are from. I know some people are here, some are in Tennessee. We've got some people
Yeah.
from the West Coast and Montana, and but it'd be really cool to see where y'all are from. We even have some people from Arizona.
Yeah. Well, we've got
subscribers in Arizona.
some people that are real close to us we didn't
Yeah.
even know about. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. But,
Yeah,
So-
but we want to say a huge thank you to Jason from Sow the Land, and Holly and Sean from the Modern Yeoman, and the traveling nurses. We really appreciate all the help, and grateful that y'all could come out and learn. And this is just a way to build community, and we just we love the community. So
Yeah. Yep. And if we can do anything for you, please let us know as well. So.
Yeah.
And Billy, William, Michelle, thank you. always thank you. I mean, we've got such a connection with those folks. They are such good people, great hearts.
yeah, what does Billy always say? You can't always choose the family you're born with, but you can choose the family that but you can choose a family you're not born with, and
Yeah.
yeah, they're definitely family.
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely.
They are.
Yeah,
just like our neighbors.
Yeah.
They're family.
Yeah, so appreciative for y'all. Thank you so much. They just and they give so much of themselves to people, and
Yeah.
you know, we keep to what can we help with, like anything we can help with.
Yeah.
We want to be there for them as well, because they're just, you know, it's just, and that's when you find those friends, like those are the friends, you know, you keep and you forge those special relationships with. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's really nothing like it.
And unfortunately, Justin from Metcalf Mills was not able to make it.
Yeah, we were hoping he was going to be here.
He was going to be here, but he has a really cool channel too. If you have not seen him, Metcalf Mills.
Yeah,
really,
we hope he's feeling better.
Yeah.
I know he's been sick lately, so we hope he's feeling better.
Yeah, but the whole community thing, and you know, I point out the sawmill, and I don't say this to pat myself on the back, but you know, I know Billy's got a couple projects coming up, and I can't wait to get the mill up, because as part of the reciprocation, I want to supply the lumber. I've got trees we can mill up for what he needs to do,
That
but
we have to thin out too.
Yeah, we have to thin out. Some of those
for
just need to go. It's choking itself out. But
and quick tip, real quick, on that we didn't realize, if you cut down trees in the fall and like late fall and winter, all that sap's gone, so you can actually utilize more of the greenwood, as they say.
Yeah,
So-
but you also risk the tree shattering, if you will. I mean, the sap actually drains out in the winter, so it becomes a little more brittle. So if it falls wrong, it will splinter, but it doesn't take as long to dry. But
Yes.
anyway, there's
Just a little tip.
There's a little side tip of the moment. So anyway, all right. Well, I think Denise has her foot on a mouse or a vole or something, because Loki is just anxious to get under her foot, and it's not just his rope.
Okay, what do you want to?
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, shush. Good try. I knew you were up to something.
Yeah. Well, no, he was looking at your foot. So, all right. Anything else?
I know we've gone sideways on y'all, but
Yeah.
just kind of what, you know,
That's-
just wanting to share the experience and kind of what our thoughts are and our opinions and kind of what we're, you know.
Sideways is how my mind operates all the time.
That's true. I think that's natural, though. I think people, you know, you go into one thing and you start thinking about another thing, and
Well,
I think that's pretty common.
It's like Think and Grow Rich. You know, two minds come together and create a third, more powerful mind, and she'll think of something and it reminds me of something, or she'll say something, and back and forth.
Vice versa, yeah.
So,
sure.
so you just get to listen to us ramble on about it. So, all right, you good? I'm good.
good, all right.
Okay, Loki's good. He's still after your foot, and the rope's
He's
out
after
there.
the rope.
So,
Oh.
okay. No, it's over there.
Oh, there's a light shining from the microphone.
Oh,
That's what it is.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Loki
silly dog.
likes shiny things. Ooh, shiny. Squirrel.
Shiny, silly dog.
Okay. Okay, everybody. We've gone on and long enough. I need to get back to work, and you need to get back to covering our food forest.
Yes.
So she's making great progress while I'm sitting in the front of the computer. All right, everybody. Well, as always, we really do appreciate you. We do want to hear your comments and suggestions. Anything you'd like to see us share, we'd love to know. And so be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Help control the pet populations. Help your dog spayed or neutered.
This is Bob Barker reminding you to help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered.
I can't help it, you know, that I have a soft spot for the doggies and kitties
Yes,
and
yes, you do.
you know, at the Humane Society.
Especially the
So-
doggies.
Especially the doggies. So if there's that many less being born, there's that many less to have to get adopted out.
Yeah,
So
or that have to be put down.
or have to be put down. So anyway,
Yes.
all right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next video. God bless.
God bless. Thank y'all.
Bye.